All right, I've just been recording for pretty much an hour, and I was recording making of the one. So this whole video, yeah, okay, shut up. A whole video, 50 minutes of me going through and making and thinking of a concept for the one. Okay, so if you want to watch the whole thing, I'm gonna link that in the description. It's gonna be an unlisted video. If you just want to have that in the background, you hear me talk about everything. So this is the character, right? Let's talk about it, okay? Because there's a lot to unpack here, okay? And let me tell you why I thought this way. So when I was making this, I was like, the first thing, he's not going to be red because he's a human. So I don't want him to be red because we all know what happens to red humans. I don't want him to be blue because green is really strong at the moment. And green also beats damage, which I think would fit him. And then the one was also blue. So let's make him green because the one was already blue. I was thinking I'll make him light. I think he's definitely deserving of the light type. And then we get the Demon Lord at the end of the year, or Mael, we'll see. If it's Demon Lord, then he will be light and Demon Lord will be dark for sure. But we'll see. Right, so that first things first. Now I had to go through the wiki and everything, bro. I had everything up, okay? I had everything up. I had this whole thing. Oh yeah, by the way, in case you're curious, I had this up earlier. I was explaining it in the video. The one ultra is the one ultra. The one, I can't even speak anymore. The one ultimate is pretty much confirmed to be the next festival units. We had these leaks, which Fiatlux means let there be light, Pagatum means sins, and Royal Blood means prince. This is which I knew, and then this guy like linked it all together and like had some more stuff. Who's Escanor? The stuff about him and having a poem, and then Peccatum, I knew it means sin because I had like Latin in school and stuff. And then 1866 means Peccatum 1866 is a poem that talks about this guy that burned, has a pool full of power, that was like a saving star, like ultimate the one, you know, and a favor to the famous tavern. Now add to min strength. Like it sounds like, you know, like Escanor. And the Royal Blood stuff, he was a prince, we know that. Fiatlux means let there be light. I think this is like a common thing too. And yeah, that's all there is to this. So it pretty much is confirmed to be Escanor, right? And we also haven't had a new Escanor in about a decade. So boom, that's that. And then I went through all this, okay, to make it. So if you want to go check out the entire video of me making it, please do. But regardless, let's talk about the one. So his passive, right? His passive. I just went through about 50 changes, by the way. Applies Golden Sunshine, which increases all stats by 20%. I didn't make this orange. I'm so sorry, guys. Grants debuff immunity. It also gives 30% damage reduction, but it lowers the hero's max HP by 4% every time he is targeted by an enemy skill. Which I don't think is that big of a detriment. I could make the 7%. You know what? I am making the 7% right now. You know what? That's more fitting. At 4 because of it's like 4.1 something on him that I saw, but let's make the 7%, okay? Because it is pretty strong. He's targeted by an enemy skill. I was gonna also use an enemy skill, but I was like, nah, let's just do targeted. So it does like the damage and also 7% lower max HP, right? So it's like permanent damage technically. When attacking, this hero ignores 40% of enemies' defense rate stats. I just thought he needed this, right? You know, why not, bro? Blocks enemies' ability to gain ult gauge by moving cards while participating in battle. I don't like ult rush. I'm just petty. You could hide this, right? But I don't want to because I hate ult rush, so cuck them. I initially had this as enemies can't have more ult gauge than him. But I was like, I think that's too like strong. But anyway, and then when taking or dealing damage, 1 ember effects are applied on the enemy for 3 turns. Now ember is a white debuff, and it makes it so the enemy takes 7% max HP damage at the end of every turn. In this last 3 turns, so this will add up to 21%. Now obviously they'll heal up and everything. It won't actually be 21% sadly, but like I think it will still do decent damage. It's just like worse corrosion, but he can work off ember and he can apply it pretty easily. So I thought, okay, I'll make it a lot weaker than corrosion, but it's still gonna be pretty strong. And this will cuck bond teams too, right? Like he is green, so he's kind of weak against bond teams, but if he just hits them, like having this is gonna be really good. And he's gonna be applying a lot of these because when taking or dealing damage, right? So if he takes damage, he applies, and he has double AoE, by the way, spoiler, and that will also do damage to them. All right, now Pride Flare, Crazy Prominence, and Final Prominence. Okay, Pride Flare is a thing he used against Esterosa, and this because like it made the sun bigger and then it exploded. So I was like, okay, you know what? It inflicts weak point and Hellblaze. I couldn't call it Blaze, so I had to call it Hellblaze. I could do like Blaze and Hellblaze, I guess. That would be better because we apply ignites too. But regardless, inflicts weak point and Hellblaze damage equal to 190% of attack on all enemies on a rank 3. Now this weak point we all already know is triple damage. Now Hellblaze is 20% increased damage per Ember debuff. You know what? Let's make this stronger. Why not, bro? Let's make this per Ember and Ignite. Oh, it's like they call it debuff. It's like effect, right? It's per Ignite effect on the enemy, right? Let's do it like this. And then like also, why don't I just do this? And then we can move this down further. Boom. Perfect. Right? I think this is fine. Hellblaze, right? I think that's cooler. Damage to 190% of attack on all enemies. Now, Crazy Prominence, this is going to be super strong. 190%, I know you guys are like, oh, this is so weak, right? You have to triple this because of weak point already. And then you have to like increase like this damage. And then Ignite increases your damage, and then Ember makes him take more damage. And this guy has all his stats, and he goes through defense phase. And this is a lot of damage, guys. Trust me, okay? Now, like his other AoE is inflicts damage equal to 250% of attack on all enemies, and applies 3 ignite effects for 3 turns. This is pretty strong too. I pretty much just took this off Gila, of the SR Gila, but I made it slightly stronger, and I made it last 2 turns less. Okay, so that's like the trade-off. But I think that's fine. Okay, between us, I think this is a lot better. I think this is really good too. And then his ultimate Final Prominence is going to be decreases all enemies' attack rate stats by 20% for 3 turns and inflicts spike damage equal to 540% of attack on a single enemy. Applies 5 ignite and ember effects for 3 turns. This is on 1/6. And on 6/6, the only thing it changes is you increase their attack related stats a lot more. And then the spike damage, the spike damage goes up by 60% for each ult gauge, and the attack rate stats goes up by 10% for each ult gauge, for each ult level you have, right? So 50% here and 350% here. No, I did 70, right? Yeah, it's 70. Sorry, yeah, it's 70% here and then 50% here, right? I think that's pretty cool. The ignite and ember effects, I just let there, right? I was gonna have him do the damage. Do like Hellblaze too, Spike and Hellblaze. You know, let's do Spike and Hellblaze. You know what, bro? Like this is gonna one shot anyway, but let's make it like super one shot. And Hellblaze, damage equal to actually that's equal to 540% of attack on a single enemy, and then applies. There we go. And we just do this. Boom, there we go. Now this looks a lot better. See, we keep going through changes, okay, guys? That's what the world's about. And I have to do it here again. Ah, cringe. I'm gonna keep the thing blue, by the way, because I'm lazy. Hellblaze damage equal to 90% attack. I have to do this, and then applies this, and then you go back, space, boom, and we're done. Anyway, so I think this is just gonna be a really strong, like it's just gonna take out whoever he hits, Final Prominence, and it's just gonna do a lot of damage. I didn't effects on all enemies, for 3 turns. Right, so I think we can do this too. I think that's fine. Where is it? There. Effects on all. This was supposed to be on all enemies. I thought I already said it. The 3 does. It's slightly hanging over, bro. You know what? Just because you are complaining, I'll make this slightly smaller, okay? And we'll put this up too. There you go. Okay, that's the card. And we can also delete these things because I don't need them. All right, that's definitely not what I want to delete. I want to delete this. Oh, this and this. No, I want to delete this and this, I guess. All right, there we go. Boom. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the unit. He is great. He is cool. I decided on his actual like synth thing for the unique because this is like his peak moment, right? So why not? And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for the video. If I wanna start a thing where I start live streaming, and then in those live streams I start making cards with you guys, okay? Because this was actually hell, but it was kind of fun. So I kind of want to do this like once a week or something, where we get together and we make a card, and then I make a YouTube video about it, okay? And we can just make silly cards, right? We make like a new Arden card, okay? We can make a new Gallon card. We can make a Grey Road card, you know? We can make all sorts of stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's see if I actually can like do this and I can set up a stream, because like streaming for me is kind of difficult, because I always have like people in my house just like no, doing all sorts of stuff. I always get called. My friend's always annoying, so it's like finding like an hour or two where I can just sit here uninterrupted and stream is rough, but like we'll make it work, I think. But yeah, I think that's my concept. Obviously, stat wise, he'd have stupid stats. He'd have the 1 stats but higher. I think like once he's like SA6 and everything, he'd have like 100 and like 27% crit chance, 140% pierce, 250% crit damage. He'd have like lifesteal stuff doesn't matter, because like 20% lifesteal alone from this is big enough. He'd have the highest TC in the game because he is the one ultimate. He stands above all, right? So I think he'd like on HP defense he'd have like 289k HP without HP food, right? Because I think Diane right now goes to 280k, so let's make him have 10k higher HP. Why not? That might be a bit more. He'll have like Diane's HP stat. He'll have Esther Rose's attack stat, and then he'll just have like a good at defense, like just generally good defense stat, right? I think that's good enough. But yeah, that's the concept done, boys. This was actually kind of fun to make, kind of hell to make. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Good job.